Spoiler warning, in this review, I will be revealing the end game of the game. In other words, I'll be telling you what happens in the end. So if you don't want to hear that, either don't watch this review or ignore the end game part of this review. Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Buller, and today I'm going to be doing my second game review on The Division 2. In today's review, all the gameplay you're about to see is captured by me. And I'm really proud to say that, because honestly, it was quite a hassle getting all that gameplay from my PS4 down to my iPad. So, all the stuff you're about to see is me playing the game. I haven't taken this gameplay from anyone. Also, I aim to improve a lot in this review, and show you that with each upcoming review, I'm only getting better as a reviewer. Well, remember, this is my own opinion, so if you don't like what I'm saying, make sure to tell me in the comments below. And if there's stuff you don't like about my review in general, make sure to tell me in the comments below. I want to improve as much as I can. Well, without further ado, let's start the review. The Division 2 is a third-person loot shooter developed and published by Ubisoft. And although I've never played the first one, I can see lots of improvement in the sequel. In this review, we'll be skipping the story aspect of the game, mostly because it's very forgettable and that it's not this game's focus. We can just say you're an agent trying to save Washington, D.C. In this review, we'll be mostly discussing the world of The Division as well as all of its gameplay aspects, which is very in-depth. The world of The Division 2 has a lot to offer, with strongholds, control points, activities, and more. I'd just like to quickly note that there was a lot of attention to detail in this world. Since Washington, D.C. is pretty much wrecked up in Division 2, Ubisoft has done a great job of putting detail into its world. Well done on that. Washington, D.C. is divided into many areas, 4 of them being dark zones. More on those later. The areas are all set to certain numbers. These numbers determine how strong the enemies are in that area, as well as how strong you should be before you go in there.
Over.
Each area has multiple control points, which are like enemy outposts. In order to capture it, you have to kill all the enemies there, and then defend it from another horde of enemies. Once you capture it, you can donate resources you've collected around the world to the controlling officer, which will offer experience as well as many other perks. But your biggest reward will be the supply room, which will offer tons of loot. Personally, I love all the control points in this game, just because each one has a unique layout filled with turrets, exploding barrels, and tons of enemies, which all makes a hell amount of fun capturing these things. Well done on those. Now, strongholds. Those have gotta be one of my favorite things about this game. Think of them as giant control points that will take you up to an hour to capture. These things are huge. Each one will have some sort of boss fight, as well as tons of loot. The rewards are well worth it. You'll be taking these things on pretty late games since they all contain extremely strong enemies. Your world will start off with 3 of them, but you'll encounter more in the future. Again, these strongholds will offer you the most memorable experiences in the entire game, to my opinion. They're huge, long, rewarding, chaotic, and just straight up fun.
Friendly control point nearby.
Throughout Washington, D.C., you'll come across many activities: propaganda broadcasts, territory controls, supply drops, hostage rescues, and many, many more. Think of activities as quick-time events. All these activities offer rewards and can be challenging sometimes, but I personally love these activities as they add more life to Washington, D.C. and make sure that there's always something going on in your world.
This is our last radio contact with Espinosa. You doing there?
Washington, D.C. has many areas ready for exploration, from quarantine zones to underground sewers. Quarantine zones have no enemies, but are filled with puzzles to progress through the area. They mostly offer loot and collectibles that give more insight on the story. Personally, I prefer the underground sewers. They are also filled with collectibles and loot, but you can also find keys in these sewers which can open certain boxes in the world that contain high quality loot. The sewers can also be impressive to look at sometimes. Washington, D.C. also offers 2 settlements. These settlements have 4 levels, which pretty much shows how much you've helped the settlements grow. These settlements offer projects, side quests, crafting benches, vendors, bounties, and more. Projects. Projects are like mini assignments that require you to donate things as well as do various tasks to complete them. And they give much more purpose to activities in your world. I've always liked projects, since they can always give more purpose to whatever kind of thing you're doing, and always add a little mini extra reward to something that you've completed. Although sometimes the amount of projects you're given can be just straight up overwhelming. The Division 2 has a pretty neat crafting system. The materials needed to craft these weapons are resources found across the world, and weapon parts, and some credits. Over time, you'll need to upgrade a crafting bench so it can craft the appropriate weapons for how advanced you are. But don't think you can craft whatever you want right off the bat. You have to unlock the blueprints first. In order to acquire weapon parts, you have to dismantle weapons you already have. It'd probably be a good idea to dismantle that level 10 green weapon you're not using anymore. Alright, now getting on to bounties. Bounties are just ridiculously strong enemies that can eat like thousands of bullets. Seriously. Either way, I find them fun to fight since I know they'll reward me with valuable loot. To find a bounty, you can either complete projects or use enemy intel to find one. The harder the bounty is, the better the loot. I find a bounty system to be very good. Also, PS to Ubisoft. The bounty names are amazing. Like Bubbles. Seriously? The Bubbles? What a great name. Well, since we talked about bounties, we might as well talk about enemies. I find the enemies in this game are quite in-depth and are all fun to kill. There are many enemy factions, hyenas, true sons, black tusks, and more. There are also many enemy classes that all have unique behaviors. Assaulter, charger, flamethrower, mechanic, so much more. I think there's a very good amount of enemy classes, so well done. Also, enemies have a chance to drop loot, which always makes killing them worth your time. Stepping into gameplay, there is much to discuss. But let's start off with the guns in Division 2. The guns in Division 2 are very in-depth and share 6 classes in total. Common, uncommon, rare, super rare, legendary, and exotic. Okay, those aren't the actual words for the rarities, but that's pretty much what they resemble. There are many weapon classes: shotguns, snipers, assault rifles, LMGs, and SMGs. And for the sidearms, there's pistols and sawed-off shotguns. Each class offers a unique bonus. Example, SMGs have a higher critical chance. Each weapon consists of many stats: its damage, rate of fire, magazine, accuracy, stability, reload time, critical strike range, critical strike chance, damage drop-off, and more, which can all be modified by attachments you can put on your weapons. These attachments can be crafted by using blueprints at a crafting bench. You can also put skins on your weapons so they look really cool. The weapons you find will also have talents, which make weapons even more complex as a whole. These talents can consist of stat bonuses or specific perks, and like I said before, you can also dismantle your weapons to get parts to make different weapons at crafting benches. And now there's gear, which consists of masks, gloves, chest pieces, backpacks, holsters, and knee pads. They all share the same rarities as weapons. The main stat gear offers is armor, and the gear piece that offers more armor is usually the one you want to put on. Gear also has a feature called attributes, something that weapons also have, which gives you all kinds of stat boosts. These attributes are divided into 3 sections: offensive, defensive, and skill. The attributes on your gear are completely random. Just like weapons, gear has talents, But now that I've brought up attributes, I can get a little more in depth with talents. There are certain talents that require you to be using a specific amount of a certain attribute in order to unlock the talent. Example, in order to unlock this talent, you need a certain amount of offensive attributes. Skills. I'm in love with skills. Skills are like your special abilities. You can have 2 of them at a time. There's 8 kinds in total, each having a branch of different versions. You can find or craft mods for your skills to make them a lot better, although you'll need a certain amount of skill power to use it. Your gear is the key to getting that skill power. Time we talked about dark zones. These are kinda like player versus player zones. When you enter these areas, all your stats will get mega buffed. You'll have a lot of armor. All the equipment you find in this area are corrupted and unusable. In order to undo this, you must bring the corrupted equipment to an excavation area in the dark zone and defend the loot for some time. During this time, anyone can come and try to steal your loot, so be ready to defend it.
Scanning.
That's the evidence. Thank you. I owe you one.
In terms of side content, there's side missions, which I find very fun and rewarding. Collectibles, complete a set for a reward, and commendations, sort of like in-game achievements, complete them for stamps and cosmetics. You can also enter PvP lobbies with other people, or even create your own clan. I personally love all the side content this game has to offer, and it makes it feel so complete.
What can I do for you?
The end game. If you thought beating the game was actually the end, you're far from correct. This game has a surprisingly very complex end game. Once you complete the game for the first time, all missions, side missions, and more must be redone. But this time, you'll be fighting Black Tusks, really strong enemies with annoying robots. You're also given 3 new perk trees and must choose one of them. These perk trees contain new passive effects, throwables, skills, and above all, specialized weapons, which I think need a serious buff, because at the moment, they're all kinda bad in my opinion. All your gear and weapons will now be ranked by a score instead of levels. Once you complete the game, you're World Tier 1. There's 7 World Tiers in total, meaning you have to redo this whole process 7 times. Have fun!
Good trading with you, Agent.
Hole detected.
When you start playing Division 2, just after a few hours, you'll feel a loop constantly repeating itself, like a cycle. The game is extremely repetitive, but honestly, if this is your cup of tea, that's perfectly okay. Thanks to this game's advanced gameplay system, all of it is just so much fun, even if it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over again. This is a great game, and I'm excited for the free updates Ubisoft has in store for the future. Now I know I haven't given my opinion on everything there is in this game, but this is a review, and I shouldn't be mentioning everything there is in this game anyways. I'm very thankful that you've spent your time today watching my review, so that I know that this was not a waste of time. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the future reviews I have to make. Give me some recommendations in the comment sections of what games I should review, and who knows, maybe I'll just do it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content on my channel. Goodbye!